Welcome to another Motivational Monday, and I've received another request via email to talk about the teenagers are having a wonderful time sending me emails on what I must talk about on a Motivational Monday. And teenagers are complaining about their parents. Isn't that interesting? I just love it. So let's have a chat about the expectations teenagers have for their parents, because I like to look at everybody's point of view, and I always find it fascinating to see the family dynamics and how things come together. My brothers, they got married, and on their weddings I would do the speeches. Even if they didn't ask, I would do a speech because I like it. And I remember when my eldest brother got married, I did the speech, and on the speech I said to him that, to my brother, I said to him, whatever her father did for her, she's going to expect that from you. And whatever her mother did in the house, or whatever role her mother played in the house, that is going to be her frame of reference, and that is how she is going to run your house. And then I looked at her and I said, whatever our mother did for him is going to be expected from you as his wife. And whatever my father did or was allowed to do, or the role he played in the house, is going to be the theme of the type of character of a man he's going to be. Now, this is very harsh words looking back, but it is 90% accurate. And unfortunately, it goes and it flows into the negative or the shadow side of the situation. And as parents, we don't always realize that our children are watching us. They are watching every move from a very young age. They are watching us. They are not only hearing what we say, they are not only listening to the upbringing we are giving us, but they are actually watching everything that we do with very sharp eyes, when we actually don't realize that they are watching us. I actually compare it to 24-hour CCTV surveillance. You know, if you work in a business or in a company where there's constant camera surveillance, later on you become very numb or desensitized to the fact that you are on camera the whole time. I think a lot of times we forget that the CCTV surveillance is watching us. And parenting is very similar. We forget that we are on 24-hour surveillance, and that our children from babies are watching us, and that we are in actual fact programming them. We are programming them sometimes very much in unawareness. And if you are not a conscious parent, if you are not parenting with a conscious awareness of, this child is watching me, this child is hearing me, this child is going to be programmed by me every day for 18 plus years, we can do a lot of damage as parents to our children. So the one side of this discussion today is me saying to all of us as parents that we are on 24-hour CCTV surveillance, and that we are programming them without us even knowing it. And I see it so much with my son, who's now turning 9. I can see so much how I'm programming him, and how living with me on a daily basis is teaching him. He's literally mimicking so much of me and my life and what we do in the practice, because he's basically spends a lot of time with us at the practice if he's not at school. So he's always lived with me or with his father very closely. And now that he's coming of age, approaching his 9th year, I can see a lot of programming manifesting in him. And I am starting to go much more into awareness of how am I consciously parenting this young man. He's watching me like a hawk, every move. So that part was for the parents. The other part is, what do we now do? What do you do now as a teenager or as a young adult or as an adult? And you maybe have your own children, or you are growing up and you are coming in awareness of yourself, and you'll come to a point where you will say, okay, my mother has mothered me in a certain way, and now I feel that that was not good enough, or my father did this, or he left me, or he abandoned me. So what do we do now with a teenager or a young person or anyone who comes to me now and says, I'm unhappy with the way I was raised, I'm unhappy with the way my parents have parented me, I feel that I have not lived up to my expectations as parents. There's a thing that we need to understand, and that is that on a soul level, we have chosen our parents to come and teach us. And life is about duality. You cannot understand the concept of sweet if you haven't tasted bitter. You cannot understand the concept of warmth if you haven't felt cold. You cannot understand the concept of wealth if you didn't suffer. If you have driven and I'm going to give a very superficial example now, and it's going to hit hard. If you, for example, drove a bicycle all your life, and suddenly you climb into a Mercedes-Benz, you are only really going to understand the wealth or the abundance or the wonder of that vehicle because you have driven a bicycle before. So a lot of times I will teach my clients and say, yes, you might feel that your mother was not a mother for you, which you thought was worthy or according to your expectations. But your mother also taught you what you shouldn't do. So taking the negative into a positive and saying, okay, my mother used to chain smoke, for example, and I could never see the TV properly because of all the smoke in the house. It has taught me that I should not smoke, I should not chain smoke, and I should look after my body. Or my father maybe had an alcohol problem and he really abused alcohol. It has taught me the importance of not doing that. So even in the trauma and the pain and the suffering that we can sometimes feel our parents put us through, there can even be a gift in that. And what is the gift in that? The gift is, I have been shown what I should not do, or I've been shown the shadow part of it, and that can motivate me to change my life, to better myself. And what's very important is in that process of realizing, okay, by doing this to me, you have shown me how to not act. We can go into the journey of forgiveness and release them from the pain and take the gift in it and see, what is the gift in this situation? What has it taught me? What has it brought to me in my life? How has it assisted me to become a stronger person, a person of value, a person of worth, a person of integrity? And again, allowance, and then making different decisions for yourself. So there's a lot of tools in my book. I talk a lot about family dynamics in my book. And the big thing we need to learn is we need to learn awareness, we need to learn allowance, and we need to learn forgiveness. And after we have integrated all of that, we need to integrate choice. The power of choice to make a different choice. And if we parent, let us strive to parent in awareness. And if we are teenagers, let us see what is the gifts that we can get from our parents, no matter how negative. And then for our future, make better choices.